Welcome to the Patriots Report, part of the Believe Network, presented by Fan Duel. My name is Christopher Price, the Boston Globe and bostonglobe.com, joined as always by my podcast partner, two-time Super Bowl champion, Chris Hogan. Chris, we've arrived at the postseason. The Patriots play the Chargers Sunday night at 8 on Wild Card Weekend. I believe all things being equal, the Patriots, this is their best possible matchup. Other than the one seed, other than the bye, this is their best possible matchup when it comes to the opening of the postseason. They can just sit back, watch the Jags and the Bills beat up on each other, and avoid the Texans. What do you think here on the cusp of the postseason, 30,000-foot view of the state of the team and how things set up?
Yeah, I mean, the whole AFC is such a – I mean, both divisions. I mean, you could literally just pick a name out of a hat, and any of those teams realistically could make the Super Bowl. You really – honestly have no idea of which team is going to show up. I mean, Houston and Steelers, like, I don't know. I couldn't tell you who's going to win that game. You know, it's like, and then it's Jags and the Bills, and then, you know, us and the Chargers. Outside perspective, looking in, I think that I agree this is our best matchup. I do. I think just from – where we're sitting, how, you know, who we're going to play, you know, Herbert's coming off, you know, he's coming off an injury, his hands, whatever's going on with that. I think that we can match up with them. They don't really have anybody on this team that's like really, really stands out to me, other than having a very good quarterback and being well coached by Harbaugh. And we're at home. You know, I think those are, for a young team, a team that hasn't been to the playoffs in a few years, for a coach that hasn't, you know, going to the playoffs, quarterback. I mean, you go up and down the roster, right? Guys that just have not been there before. You know, Steph's been there, but you know, like there's only so much of that can really help a team, right? Like he can kind of like listen. I mean, how many ways are you going to be able to tell guys like, hey, it's win or go home? You know, it's there's not many ways of doing that. It's just kind of like, listen. We've done it all year round. We're not going to sit here and reinvent the wheel of how to approach this game. It's going to be the same approach. It's just for and I've talked about this at length with you. It's all right. What more can I do? Right? It's not. There's no tomorrow after this game. There is no tomorrow. So if you go into this game knowing that this is the last football game that I am ever going to play as a professional football player, what would you do? Right? And if you can wake up on Monday and say, I would have done something differently, well, like that's a problem. But if we wake up on Monday and I'm like, I did everything I could. I watched the film, I studied, took care of my body, I got myself prepped, my nutrition was on point, I was hot, you know, like all of those things. Like make that checklist, man, and just put everything that you have, because it's one and done right now, right? There is no tomorrow. There's no guarantees that we're going to have another game and play another playoff game. So, you know, that being said, you know, we're at home. They get to, you know, stay in their same routines. I think there's a degree of, you know, being comfortable, right? Same hotel, same bed, same things that you eat. You're in your own locker room. You can do the same. So I do think that with this being a young team and being the playoffs, that's, I think, where the difference is as opposed to the regular season, right? It's kind of like regular season. All right, we got to go. It's an away game. It is what it is, right? Try to stick to your same routine, eat the same things. But, you know, it's always a little different. You know, some locker rooms don't have a hot tub, or you're sharing a hot tub with, you know, 46 other guys and you're like taking turns, you know, so there are some differences, but now you're at home, right? You're a hot tub guy, you know, you got a big old hot tub, you can hop in there and be comfortable and sit in your own locker room, and you know where things are. And, you know, you don't have to have any of these, you know, unnecessary, you know, causes of stress about like, I need gloves. Like, where are the gloves, or where's the tape, or, you know, it's I know it sounds silly to talk about.
Patriots are 3.5-point favorites, according to our friends at FanDuel. The over-under is 46.5. I am going to take the Patriots in the under because it's supposed to be a little bit dicey when it comes to the weather. And I think that's going to play a role on Sunday when you talk about Patriots and Chargers. Some FanDuel odds. Let's go over some FanDuel odds for this thing. TreVeyon Henderson, 52.5. Where you at with this one?
You know what? I can't answer this confidently because I haven't watched enough Chargers tape yet of how well they stopped the run. But all signs are pointing to this kid playing some pretty damn good football, and so I would take the over. I mean, I did, and I'm not going to put a lot of weight into the last game that we played. But listen, we're going into this game like now. This is where the Josh McDaniels it's pedal to the metal, man. The leash is off. He's gonna have so much good stuff planned for this guy, for this team. I mean, he's faced Harbaugh before. You know, he's gonna know this defense like the back of his hand. You know, I got to imagine there's going to be a good mix of a lot of different things. And I think that, honestly, I think going into this playoff, I think that what benefits us is just how many different ways we can do things, right? We have 12, we have 21, we have 11, we have 10. We have a lot of different ways of getting the ball and spreading the ball around to so many different people. But we also have a lot of different personnels and formations that we can do all of the same thing. So I think that's going to be something that teams are going to, really I'm not going to say struggle, but they're going to have to really prepare for well. And I think we've been able to run the ball effectively all year round. So at the end of the day, you know what it's about taking care of the football, right? I mean, there's going to be a lot of nerves. There's going to be a lot of energy in that stadium, man. Boston has not seen a playoff game in a few years. So Foxborough is going to be electric. I mean, I can't even imagine what that atmosphere is going to be like on Sunday night. So I think you got to give it to him early, let him get his nerves out, give him just a bait, give him something up the middle, let him get the ball in his hands, kind of get hit, because once you get hit, those butterflies, those first playoff jitters, like, they get hit right out of you, right? And then it's just a football game. So, I would look to see a good mix between Ramondre. I like the way that he was running the ball on Sunday too. So, but I got to take the over on that. I mean, the kid's he's making a lot of plays and he's seeing things very well. And he's not going down right away. I don't know what his yards after contact is, but I got to imagine that he's doing pretty well in that category, and he's picking up positive yards, man. He's falling forward. There's very few times do I see him going backwards. So he keeps falling forward. He gets 20, 25 touches in that game. He's for sure going over.
When you talk about the Chargers defense in the context of this conversation, I think it's important to bring up the fact that they are very good against the pass. They are one of the best teams in the league when it comes to defending quarterbacks. I don't think they've allowed a 300-yard passer in more than a year.
That's cool. We've won 15 games without having a 300-yard passer. So.
Exactly. I think for me, it really begins and ends with Derwin James on the defensive side of the ball. Yep. He is one of the best safeties. I'm not going to put him in Ed Reed, territory.
He's good, though.
But he's up there in the sense that you have to account for him on every single play. He really controls things on the back end. And I bring up his name in the context of this conversation. We'll get to more of these the FanDuel over-unders here in a minute, but Derwin James for me is the absolute key for what San Diego wants to get done defensively. Now, if you're Josh, you want to scheme something up, so you have to use Derwin James not against one of the tight ends, because the Chargers are one of the worst teams in the league when it comes to defending tight ends. I think they're 27th in the league in terms of DVOA when it comes to defending tight ends. You get Derwin James on Henderson out of the backfield, and then you get that matchup at tight end that you want. Derwin James is great, but if Derwin James is not covering your tight end, the Chargers have not shown an ability to cover tight ends over the course of the year, and that's one of those big matchups that I think Josh is looking to exploit this weekend.
Yeah, I think that's something that Josh does such a good job of too. I mean, if we know it, he knows it. He's seeing the same stuff that we're talking about. So he is going to come up with different ways of getting Derwin on different players. and he'll get creative. Like there's no reason why you're not going to see Hunter Henry in the backfield, and then motioning out wide and going all the way outside of, Steph or Pop or, Booty. Like it, you're going to see probably a mix of a lot of different pre-snap motions just to try to either get them to check out of whatever defense they thought they were going to be running, or to just kind of show their hand. And I think that's something that Josh does very well. And I think that Drake has done a phenomenal job of that. So, whatever, going into this game, whatever information Josh can give Drake, the better. Right. And, Drake's been able to digest and take on all the things that Josh is obviously teaching him. And I think that he's just going to continue down, with this process into this playoff game. And why would you not try to put this kid in the best possible situation? I mean, he has done a phenomenal job. There is not one guy that we're talking about right now other than Steph, right? I mean, he's our number one receiver. But we spread the ball around. I mean, everyone gets the rock, right? It's you could not open up a play and say this guy's getting the ball. I think in some gotta have it type situations, I think that he's gonna, in his, in Drake's head, he's gonna be thinking a couple of different people, but that's not the case. I mean, the ball's been spread around to everyone, even in the gotta have it type situations. He's going down the sideline to Kyle Williams, for his first touchdown of the season or something, something like that, right? So I'm not gonna put any yes, Derwin James is gonna be someone that we have to keep an eye on just because he's such a good player, but the Chargers are going to have a tough time just understanding who's going to get the football.
Yeah.
You can't take any plays off, right? I mean, because if for one time, it's third and short, Steph's going to get the ball, nope, Matt Collins has got it. Chisholm, Chisholm's probably not going to play this game, but stuff you just don't know who's going to get the ball because Drake does such a good job of spreading it around. So, and he does a good job with his feet. So listen, it'll be an interesting matchup. And I love the fact that they're coming into New England, and I hope that it's snowing and 10 degrees outside.
Could be a sneaky big Hunter Henry game, given those numbers. I think it could be a sneaky, an important Hunter Henry game, a Hunter Henry revenge game going up against his old franchise. You mentioned Diggs. The over-under there is 49.5. I'm taking the over just barely.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I do. I mean, I think if you're scheming up a defense, I mean, he's one of the guys that I think that you have to – I don't think that you're necessarily worried about him, with a big chunk plays down the field and, breaking off a huge run for a touchdown. But if you're anything that's underneath 20 yards, you've got to imagine that there's going to be at least two sets of eyes, that way, which honestly benefits us. Because if you have defenses that are now allocating either one or two players, that's taking away from the rush, and that's taking away eyes on Drake, right? Yeah. So if you got guys that are going to be rushing upfield, and we got Will back, so hopefully the offensive line is going to be dialed in, and they're going to be feeling good. I mean, obviously I didn't really watch him too much, so I didn't know how he looked. But again, that's not really sure. I think he was just, they put him out there to kind of get him back into the swing of things.
Exactly. Yeah. There were. I'll say this: there were a few dicey moments.
Yeah, I mean, he's been out for a while. It's but that's another big part of this offense that you have to. This is not a drop back and let me just throw it out of bounds if nothing's there. This kid is going to have his eyes down the field. He's shown time and time again he's able of avoiding the rush and getting free, and so that's again I don't know how. If I were the Chargers, I'm probably going to come out and try to play some man, but being able to see if the receivers and these guys can get open, which we've shown that we've been able to do, and that's going to come down to play calling and formations and getting guys free, and get some free releases in there. So there's going to be a lot of honestly. I'm looking forward to kind of seeing, and if you watch it closely enough, just the amount of formations, personnels, what's going in and out of the huddle. I really don't think, unless something that we go into this game and it's working, right? That's not Josh's MO. I mean, he really does. It's so much different looks just to keep the defense guessing. So I think that's going to be something that we kind of look to and get guys open. And like you said, it could be a big Hunter Henry game. It could be a big Steph game. It could be a big TreVeyon Henderson game. Like, who knows really who's going to come out here and be the guy that we're going to look to. But I think it's just the ball's going to be spread around. And I think that's that benefits us, that we're not just counting on one guy to make all the plays.
Like Steph Diggs has said on a couple of occasions this year, there are a lot of dogs in just one bone in that wide receiver room.
Where is that? Yeah, there's a couple of them. You know, there. Right? Like Jules is down there too somewhere. I don't know. He's over there. There he is. You can see him.
There you go. There you go. Hunter Henry is 44.5. Ladd McConkey is 38.5. These are
that's a guy to watch.
Right? Yeah, McConkey is the guy when the Chargers have the ball, and I want to get into this a little bit more, but McConkey is for me, I agree with you, is the guy to watch. What makes Ladd McConkey, as someone who's played the game, as someone who's played the position before, when you watch Ladd McConkey play, what do you appreciate most about him?
His ability to get open and catch the football. I mean, he's quick into his routes. He doesn't really waste a lot of time at the line of scrimmage. He's in and out of his breaks. Catches the ball well over the middle. He's not scared of catching the ball and getting hit, and he's good with the ball in his hands. So I mean, listen. Last time I was in Foxborough, I watched that kid go for like 3 tugs and like 100 and something yards, and it was like a total. I mean, he manhandled the Patriots defense. So he's a guy that I think, especially, I don't think every down type situation, but certainly in gotta have it type situations. I mean, they don't have a lot of guys that you're really, it's him, it's, Keenan Allen on the outside. And like, that's Keenan. I mean, listen, Keenan's, however, he's 33, 34. I mean,
you're approaching his mid 30s, let's just
but
say.
Like, he knows how to get open. He knows how to catch the football. He's good at the line of scrimmage. So it's a good matchup, I think, for Christian and our guys on the outside. I'm not necessarily worried about them burning us for big plays down the field, but I also don't want to get into this game of Herbert getting into a rhythm and just kind of dinking and dunking down the field, and we're just, we're trying to keep everything in front of us. So I think it's, listen, having Milton Williams back is huge. He had a lot of energy on Sunday. It seemed like he was thrilled. And I listened to one of his press conferences. I mean, it seemed like he was itching to get back out there on the field. So
it's funny. There were some guys, I'll tell you this right now, there were some guys in the locker room who admitted that he was getting a little ornery. It's tough to be around. He was not in the best frame of mind when he was on the sidelines. This is a guy who loves to play the game. Really
yeah, I get it. So I think having him back in a playoff type atmosphere is really gonna benefit us a lot, man. I mean, so obviously, he can come out at 1,000 miles an hour and then kind of get his heart rate down and get through this game and be the force that he was in the beginning of the season when we had him and he was healthy. I think that's going to help us a lot. If it is, I mean, that's a huge addition to our defense, and especially at a time like this. Being able to get into Herbert's face and kind of get him on the move, and he's a mobile guy too. So, but he doesn't strike as much fear into my eyes with when he's moving with his feet, right? But he does throw the ball well. He's capable of pushing the ball down the field. So, I think our secondary just has to. This is going to be a good test for them. It is. Again, not guys. There's not a number one guy here that we're going to say we need to stop. But in those gotta have it type situations where I'm not going to say we struggled to get off the field on and throughout the year, but there were some games and some times throughout the year where 3rd and 7, 3rd and 10, we were giving up some stuff underneath or easy pitch and catch where we can kind of maybe play some tighter defense or whatever it is. I like the matchup. I'm excited for Christian and our defense to go against some of these guys because I think I have a lot of respect for Ladd and Keenan and the guys on that team because I think they're good players. And, Justin he had a week off, so he's going to be feeling good. I don't know what his hand is, what's going on with his hand, but it's playoffs, man. Shoot that thing up and let's go. So There are no excuses. I don't want to hear about your hand after when you get to Foxborough, it's 10 degrees and you're in your little hand warmers. Like that's nonsense.
So much of this game, I think, is going to come down to whether or not Milton Williams, Kairos Tonga, Robert Spillane, and Harold Landry are healthy. We saw Milton Williams get after it last week. He looks like he is fully back, or at least most of the way back now. Now at the start of the postseason, Tonga, Spillane, and Landry. Now, Tonga and Spillane are not necessarily going to be chasing Herbert around, but if you get a healthy Harold Landry in there, look, this is a quarterback and this is an offensive line in Los Angeles that's had real problems with pass protection. Justin Herbert was sacked 54 times over the course of the year this past season. That is the most of any quarterback that's currently in the postseason. Yeah. And so if you could get a sustained rush on him with single guys, if you have Milton back and Barmore's playing like we think he's capable of playing on a regular basis again, Spillane, Tonga, that group, including Landry, should do a relatively good job when it comes to getting after Herbert, getting him off his spot, making him feel uncomfortable. Again, for me, this is all about, we could talk about the guys in the boundary and the importance of Gonzalez and Davis and Marcus Jones in the slot. For me, it's going to come down to that front seven. And if they're healthy, I think this is a winnable matchup for New England.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's no matter what, it's a winnable matchup. Listen, you got a warm weather team coming into Foxborough. I remember back in 2016, Houston came into Foxborough like later in the year, and it was a playoff game. It was freezing cold. Brian Cushing's one of my buddies, and he's like, we put a beating on these guys. And like, I remember looking at him, and he's like, I don't want to be here, bro. Like, it's too cold. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I think that there's something to that. And I think that if we're it's all gas, from the first play of this game, like get these guys on their heels and just don't let up. And I think I know that we're going to put points on the board. Like, there's no doubt in my mind we're going to put points on the board. Defensively, I don't think we should just let these guys get after him. I don't think there's any reason why we should change what we've been doing, but I just think you got to trust in our secondary, right? And let's try to get after Herbert. He's not going to want to run the football, especially if he's got coming off a broken hand or whatever is going on with that. Like, he's going to be hesitant. He's not going to want to run. He's not going to want to get hit when it's however cold it is. So I'm serious, and I'm not like, I know it sounds silly to talk about, but like, you get in that cold weather, man, that's different than playing in the beautiful, sunshine in California or under, in a dome. Like, it's a different atmosphere, bro. Those hits that they sting a little bit more. So let them drop back, let them try to beat us with the pass, and let's stop the run like we've always been able to stop the run. Milton Williams is going to be at the front page of their scouting report because what his effect on this defense and what we were able to do when he was healthy. I mean, we led the league in yards, per carry, or I think yards per game when we were all healthy. So get these guys back and get back to where we were at. And, this is going to become you're going to put the ball in Herbert's hands and make Herbert beat you. Make him beat you with Ladd McConkey and Keenan Allen, whoever else they want to throw the ball to. Like, I like that game plan. I do. And that's, balls in the air means more opportunities to try to create turnovers and, make some plays. And, let's obviously there's, win the field position battle. Let's kick the ball to Carlton Davis. Let him kind of go and, get loose a little bit and, with the punt return here and there and make some plays on offense. And do I think it's going to be a blowout? No, I think it's going to be a 1 or 2 score game. But at the end of the day, I think that this matchup for us is probably the best, like you said, going into the first round of the playoffs. And then, there is no tomorrow, so I'm not even going to talk about it after that.
Give me a scenario where Los Angeles wins. What's the Chargers' path to victory in
turnovers.
This game? Okay, turnovers.
I don't see another path for them. I think it's turnovers. I do. I think it's, you're either going to get the ball on the ground, you're going to create some sort of turnover, you're going to create some sort of big play on special teams, whether it's a kickoff return or punt return or Whether it's again, like we've had, blocked field goals, right? Like that's something that's going to be on their special team scouting report. Longer field goals. Borealis, he drives it a little bit lower, right? So get your hands up and try to block something. So I think that in every single game, it's always about the turnovers. I think that they're going to be after if Drake's on the run. It's like don't try to hit the kid. Try to knock the ball out, right? Like he's shown that he's been a little loose with the ball, and I'm playing devil's advocate here. Obviously,
Exactly.
like Drake, like hold on to that thing, man, like two hands. But he's shown that he's been a little loose with it when he gets outside the pocket. So go after the football, try to create a turnover. I think that will be the Chargers' path to making this game closer, and their path for winning in New England is being able to create turnovers. If they don't create any turnovers, and Drake plays a clean game and he throws the ball well and we run the ball effectively and we just kind of continue to make positive plays, we're going to put points on the board, and our defense is going to be able to stand up against their best shot. And again, 1-2 score game going into the fourth quarter. I think that we've shown that we have the ability to go 4 quarters all season long, and this will be a game that New England comes out on top, and we're going into the second round.
So I think we're both on the same page here when we pick a Patriots victory. Do you think they're going to cover 3.5 according to FanDuel?
Yeah. Again,
I think they do.
Yeah, I think they do. I think it's I think it's like a 10-point game or something. I think it's a 7-point touchdown or a touchdown or field goal. I think that the way that these teams are, I think that we're going to have a good game plan, but we're not going to try to go. Josh is not going to try to go crazy, and we're not going to be just airing the ball out. This is going to be a well thought out, methodical chess game, right? Like he's going to push the ball down the field, take his shots. I was a little kind of pissed that we ran the flea flicker against Miami, though.
Well, I wanted to ask you.
I mean, listen, I was happy for my guy Chiz, and he got the. It was in the same corner of the end zone that I caught it, but I'm like, on Sunday against Miami, I was like, why couldn't we have? I would have loved for that to be kind of whipped out during next week, but it is what it is. But listen, we've shown the ability to kind of these are the things that Josh has in his back pocket, right? And this is not the only trick gadget play that you're going to see over the course of hopefully the next couple of weeks, but. There'll be something in this game that he's been working on hopefully in the right time, right place, right side, right place in the field, down in distance, like all these things factor into Josh making these play calls. So, I think that you'll see something else, but yeah, against Miami, I was like,
He not only called the flea flicker in the first half, he also called the direct snap.
Yeah, the direct. I mean,
the red zone. Yeah,
that to me though is okay. I'm okay with that because that's just giving the defense another thing to prepare for, and they're going to have to, right? Like for their red zone defense, whenever they, like Fridays usually was a red zone day. So this week when they go in the red zone, it's like, okay, listen, here's the scouting report. This team not great at putting the ball in the pay dirt, right? Like I don't know where we're at, but we haven't been. I think we're like 21st or something like in the league of scoring in the red zone. So have we shown the ability to put points on the board? Yes. Have we been great at scoring when we get down tight? No. So now it's like, oh, well, now you got Ramondre back there. But these are all just different looks, man, that Josh is throwing. I guarantee you, Josh, that there's a lot more to that I think the normal person sees. And Josh is probably like, I'm going to give the Chargers just one more thing to prepare for. I'm going to throw Ramondre in there. And all of a sudden you see a big package come out there and Ramondre's out there, but Drake is out there. All of a sudden Drake split out. So it's just mind games, man. I mean, it's chess. He's playing the game. He's literally the best, I think, if not the best, one of the best to do it, in the National Football League right now in play calling. So they're going to have to prepare for it. And, whether we do it or we don't, I think it's always a good situation if you have a guy that can be a downhill runner, right? We saw it with LeGarrette so many years when I was there. You see it with Derrick Henry. You see it with all these guys. Listen, like the tush push, it's coming, but no one can stop it. you know a direct snap's coming, but like, all right, well, we only need 1 or 2 yards. It's not like we're trying to break off a 25-yarder. So, yeah, I mean, I'm all for it. The more, like, versatile we can be down the red zone, the more things that we can show different teams, I think that helps us kind of going in, especially going into playoff type, atmosphere.
One more trick play possibility for you to consider. Kyle Williams, former college quarterback. I asked him in the locker room, are we going to see something? Are we going to see you unleash that cannon of an arm? And he kind of gave me one of these deals. Just
Yeah, see, like there's, he's been – Josh is – if he knows his players, man. So he's going to – there's going to be something – we might not see it this week. Maybe we see it next week, but it's in the pocket, man. He's going to work on it. They've probably been working on it for 17 weeks. It's just they've been waiting for the time to call it, and maybe it will. I mean, but again, it's going to come at a time in a situation in a game where we need it, right? And we need a big play, or we need some sort of momentum or whatever it is. It's not going to be if we go into this game and all of a sudden we put points on the board right away, our defense does well, we get a stop, and maybe we go up 10-0 in the first quarter. That play's not coming out, right? Then we're going to go about our offense and we're going to do what we've been doing. We're going to positive plays, take care of the football, let our defense do their thing, and when we need to score, we need to score. But those types of plays they're going to come out when we need them, and hopefully, I mean, listen, I hope we don't need them. I like to just see just a total offensive performance by this team, by everyone, and we roll into the second round feeling good about ourselves with all those trick plays and gadgets in our back pocket, and then we can have Steelers or Houston or who, right? It would be.
I'm not sure who it would be moving forward. I didn't even want to bring it up because I know how much you hate it.
I did look at it though. I was curious, but you're right. Who cares? It doesn't matter. Whoever it is, they'll get it.
What we all want to see, and I don't want to speak for you, but I think you're on board with this.
Bills, Pats,
AFC Championship game in Foxborough.
That would be insane.
That's the game that we all want to see. With no disrespect intended to everyone else in the tournament, that's the game that we're looking for.
A lot of people are picking Jacksonville to win that game.
Jacksonville's tough.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Jacksonville's tough. Well, let's get into this now. Let's pick these games. Let's start with, before we do that, before we talk about Bills Jags, let's get into Saturday games. Rams Panthers. I'm picking the Rams. Easy. That's in my eyes. That's a
to be honest with you, I think they're going to blow them out.
Yeah.
And this is not like no slap in the face to the Panthers, because hats off to them for getting to where they are, especially the way that they started this season. That team has really battled this entire year, and they went on a run. Their quarterback started playing good ball. But if you watch that last game that the Rams played the Panthers, it was pouring rain. They weren't able to do anything. It wasn't a game that just ever seemed like it was going to be in their favor. I think this is a totally different ball game, and the Rams win this easily.
That is probably the least compelling game of the wild card weekend in my mind. The second one, Saturday, just a matchup that gives me absolute goosebumps when you consider the history, when you consider the way these two teams played against each other over the course of the regular season, the Packers and the Bears.
I know. Chicago is going to be, again, another place. I mean, listen, all these environments are going to be crazy. It's because it's playoffs, but yeah.
I'm going with the Bears.
I'm going with the Bears as well. I'm going with Ben Johnson. I'm going with this team that's been playing good ball throughout the year. I mean, this kid, for everything that he got, all the flack that he took, and not being the first round draft pick last year, and but he's played well this year. I mean, this team has played well. So yeah, I'm going to go with the Bears. That's a historical matchup, though. Oh,
the best. The best. Great. I absolutely love it.
It's going to be cold.
Shout out to our guy, Joe Tooney.
Yeah, Joe.
Playing in his 22nd postseason game.
It's unbelievable. I mean, I saw a stat the other day. Someone posted something. It's like Joe Tooney is just a winner, and it just goes through every single year of all the things that he has won. Every single team. It's like New England, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl. Kansas City, Super Bowl, Super Bowl. It's like –
look, it's it's not the only reason the Bears are back in the playoffs, but it's not a coincidence.
No, no.
He keeps getting to the postseason.
Yeah.
And we had this discussion in the press box the other day. I'm not quite sure what sparked it, but Joe Tooney's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Been playing for I think 11 years now.
Is it 11 years?
He's going for I think his 5th ring.
Wow.
He's been an all-pro, first team all-pro twice, 4-time Pro Bowler. This is a guy who is going to be fitted for a gold jacket.
Totally. All around team guy too. One of the best I've ever been around. So congrats to him, and hopefully we see him and get some more wins underneath that belt of his.
Love it. Okay, let's go to Sunday. First game, Bills-Jags. I think the Bills are going to win this thing by the slimmest of margins, either a field goal at the end or a missed field goal. Something is going to happen within the last minute or two of this ball game, and I think the Bills are going to pull it out.
Yeah, I'm going with Josh Allen. Doesn't have the weapons that he needs to, I think, to go to distance, but I got to go with, MVP of this league, and he's shown time and time again not to count this team out, and they've been able to overcome crazy deficits. We saw it against us, and they've done it a lot of times. And, listen, I think Jacksonville, I think they're riding pretty high right now, feeling really good about themselves, but this is the Bills team that you should not be taking very lightly. And if you do, Josh Allen will exploit that like immediately. So, and I just selfishly, like the Bills. So I want them to win AFC East. I want to see our guys compete and win playoff games.
Well, plus it would give Bills Mafia another opportunity to crush you for your take on the referees coming out of the Patriots-Bills game earlier this year. You got killed on social media.
They share the same opinion. They're just, they know exactly what I'm talking about. They know if I got them face to face, they know exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah. But listen, Bills Mafia is Bills Mafia for a reason. Those guys will fight to the death for.
They'll turn on you like that.
Oh man,
that.
Don't insult their boys, or that's like insulting their mother. It's not good.
Also, the last game potentially at Highmark Stadium.
That too, man. I watched some things. Not to go off on a tangent here, but I did watch some stuff because technically that was the last game. And Jim Kelly was there, and a bunch of other guys were there, and there's a lot of history in that stadium, man. There's a lot of good players have gone through. Andre Reed, Jim Kelly. I mean, Fred Jackson. There's so many. There's a lot of history there. I know they're building some crazy stadium, right across the street, but. It was to see the team kind of, I think they stayed out on the field and the fans were there, and so it was pretty cool to kind of see that. I've never really have seen any of that sort of moment for a team, right? And I think that just goes to show you how much that city cares about football and how much that team really means to that city. So it was pretty cool that they did that, and it was great that they were able to get a win at the last game of the season and be able to kind of celebrate. That again is probably the last game that they played there. So pretty crazy.
There's a lot that I will miss about that place. I will not miss the visitors' locker room.
Oh God, the worst.
I think it's the smallest in the league.
It is. It's the worst. It's the worst. And I didn't know until that first game that I came back. I'm like, God, this is terrible.
It's a high school locker room.
Yeah, you're literally on top of each other.
Yeah, it's literally, and it's not hyperbole. It's a high school locker room.
I think I shared a locker with somebody my first year. And it's like, this is the NFL. Like, this is terrible. I mean, listen, it's not like I hadn't been in away locker rooms at all, but yeah, the Bills was pretty bad.
A little tiny, a little small. All right, second game on Sunday, Niners-Eagles.
I mean,
it's a tough one.
It is a tough one, but I'm going to go with my guy. I want C-Mac to keep having the year that he's been having. For a guy that's able to do what he does on a year-to-year basis is pretty incredible. He's an awesome player, awesome teammate, good friend of mine. So I'm going with the 49ers.
If the Niners were playing anyone else, I would take the Niners. I think the Eagles win this thing. I'm not 100% sure about where they are on both sides of the ball. I don't think
they
they're
need
quite.
to get some.
Yeah,
Like Fred Warner, I don't know if he's not totally healthy. And
no, yeah. It's just the Eagles are just. I don't think the Eagles are where they want to be right now from an organizational standpoint. They need to figure some things out.
yeah,
But I think the defending Super Bowl champs at home, they're going to find a way to beat San Francisco. Oh, and also, I got to say this: next time you talk to your guy Christian, I get his real opinion on those San Francisco rivalry uniforms they wore the other night. The all black. Those
do you like him?
They're awful.
He didn't like him.
No. I'm saying they were awful.
You didn't like them.
The Niners have such a clean look. Such a classic look.
Stay with it.
Stay with it. Don't the black on black and the funky looking number. I was not a fan of that. Last game Sunday, Chargers Patriots. We talked about that one. Then Monday, wrapping up Super Wildcard Weekend, the Texans and the Steelers. I'm going with Houston in this.
Yeah, I mean, again, another team that started slow, but then really has been playing their best ball. Honestly, it comes down to the Steelers' ability to move the ball down the field. I mean, if Rodgers is playing well and they're not getting to him, and he's able to go sit back there and do what he does, then it'll be a long game for Houston. But I think if they're able to kind of get him off the spot, make him move around, because it's not like he's got a ton of options to really throw the ball to. They've talked about it all year round. It's not they have two good backs. I like both of those guys. I do. I think both of them can change a game, when they get the ball in their hands. But I'm gonna go with Houston because I just don't like the Steelers.
Hey, last one for me. What did you think of that Instagram post that I forwarded along to you? Chris Hogan highlights.
I reposted it, man.
There's still an appetite out there for it, man. There were plenty
of
the ones that stood out for me. There were a bunch from the Steelers game.
Yep.
And then the first game that you played with Brady in 2016, the game in Cleveland.
Yeah.
Too. There's still an appetite for it, man.
There's been an itch that I've been trying to scratch over the last couple of months. I've been missing football. I don't know what it is, but I think I've been thinking recently about coaching, just because I just want to be around the game again. I love again. That's why I love being able to do this throughout the season, because I get to talk about football. But it's like there's an itch, man, that I'm trying to figure out how to scratch, and I can't play anymore because I don't know if I can walk up the stairs without my knee killing me. But I could coach. I could definitely do that. So we'll see.
Is this the toughest time of year when it comes to missing the game?
Yeah, dude. Because if you've been there, you know exactly what that feels like walking into the facility, right? You know that every other team in the National Football League is packed. Like I talked to a couple of my buddies. It's like, hey man, congrats on another good season. It's like, yeah, thanks. I'm cleaning up my locker. It's like that feeling sucks, right? I mean, listen, it is what it is, right? You made it through a season, on to next year, but you got to do your exit meetings. You're cleaning out your locker. You're putting stuff in a freaking black garbage bag, which just has a weird feel to it. It's not like they can give you some nice bag to put all your stuff in. No, it's like, here's a trash bag for you to just chuck all your stuff. But for teams that are going to playoffs, man, it's a different vibe, and everyone that you get this renewed energy, where even no matter how crappy your body's feeling, no matter how tired you are, you get this new energy, man. The coaches get it, players get it, the staff gets it, everyone. You feel it, right? And it's contagious. It really is. So, this is definitely one of those. I mean, God forbid this team gets to the Super Bowl. I'm going to be like, literally, I'll be in San Francisco. Let's just put it that way, or wherever the hell it is.
Well, if we do get a Patriots-Bills AFC Championship game,
I'll probably be there for that one.
Well, we got to the franchise. And look, I'm going to put this out there right now, and we've talked about it before. The Patriots have been very good this year when it comes to bringing former players back to be bell ringers, to be keepers of the light, as they say.
If they don't let me try to break that bell, if it's
exactly, that's what I'm saying.
Then in New England, I'm going to call Mr. Kraft. Going to make sure that I'm call Robert. Be like, listen, man, what are we doing here? Like, don't bring back. Who was it last? What was it last week? Brandon and LeGarrette.
Last week, yeah, Brandon and LeGarrette. They've Duron Harmon was there.
Yeah, I saw
he wasn't part of the ceremony, but and also Malcolm Butler was in the building.
Oh, he was?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we got to look, man, and even if it's not Patriots Bills, got to get you back in the building. You got to get some better mojo than when you were there last time.
Yeah, it was not. It wasn't great. I mean, listen, it was. I don't even know what. I think I went up there. I went up there for the Chargers game. Went up there for they were revamping their alumni thing, and which was great. But yeah, it wasn't the best game to sit in the owner's box with Robert, and Drake's parents and all his entire family. His fiance was there, his brothers were there, his dad and mom were there, and it's like, oh, this sucks. But great, honestly, awesome family. Like, really, really are. Like, salt of the earth. I mean, Drake got knocked out of bounds I don't know if you remember this, but he got knocked early in the game. I mean, his dad didn't even blink. And neither did his mother. Like, none of them. I, looked down the line, and Ashley's like, oh, God. And my wife was with me. It's like, they didn't even blink. It's just good people, man. Like, really enjoyed meeting them. So yeah, it would be great to get back there for a little bit of a different atmosphere.
Yes.
I think we'd only won 2 games at that point too, so it wasn't not like anyone was really excited to be there.
It's just the turnaround here is remarkable, and we will talk a little bit more about it in the coming weeks. But Vrabel as Coach of the Year, Diggs as Comeback Player of the Year, the potential of Drake as MVP. I also want to get your take next time we talk on Tom saying that Matthew Stafford should win the MVP as opposed to Drake May, which I thought was very interesting. We will talk more about that next week. In the meantime, Patriots-Chargers, Sunday night, 8 o'clock, wild card round. It's going to be on NBC. Make sure you tune in. Obviously, if you're a Patriots fan, you're going to be tuning in. And then next week, we will be back to talk all about it. Chris Hogan, as always, I appreciate your time. Take care, and we'll talk again soon.
Thanks, Chris.